Hello everyone, this video we're going to be showing you how to install a Hive heating receiver, Hive Active Heating System receiver to a Viessmann Vitodens 100W. This is the WB1C with a timer clock on here which we're going to be disconnecting and replacing with the receiver. It won't be mounted on there, there'll be a blanking plate on that which I need to order, but it will be a receiver that we're going to fit on the wall over here on the right hand side. And we're just going to take the boiler cover off. Only do this if you're gas safe registered or feel comfortable doing so. And as with any of this here, only do it if you feel comfortable doing it, otherwise employ a qualified tradesperson. So I'm going to take the front plate cover off here, which you do so by removing the two screws underneath here, which I've already done, and one on the other side, and then you lift the cover here, put it off and then lift it off at the top. Okay, so once you've taken that off, you access the electrical panel here by undoing the clips on either side, and that will drop down like so. And then you've got to take this off, this front cover off here, and keep that if you're unsure by undoing the clips on the side and underneath here. It's worth noting at this point I've already turned the boiler off the power supply, which is under here in this property, and I've also turned the boiler off at the mains power switch here. Okay, so the old timer clock, as you can see, comes in from the back here. These cables come into along here, and then here you can unplug that from there, and then that goes into X7 at the bottom there. You can't really see that very well. So I've disconnected that now, so that old timer clock is disconnected from in there on the X7. I'm just going to leave that off there for now, remove that properly in a minute. The feed for the receiver is going to come in, going to feed it in through the same hole, or one of the three holes at the back there, either way, whichever one we can get it in. And then that we'll be using a 4-core flex, comes in through the bottom of the boiler, and we'll run it in through one of these spare ones here. And then at the bottom here you see the main board, we've got a mains feed, which that black cable's coming in via. I'll do a still of this and point it out as well, just so it's easier. So you've got the earth, the live and the neutral, and then one live and neutral here, which the cable for the receiver is going to go into. I'll show you that in a second. So I'm just going to switch now to the receiver. So I've just taken the faceplate off the Hive Active Heating receiver, which looks like this. Two screws at the bottom allow you to prise it off the back plate. I've wired this up pre-video, but essentially you've got the neutral that comes in here on the left, with the black. Sorry, that's not focusing. Yeah, the neutral on the left, and then you've got the live coming in, and then we've got a bridge live to the one, which will replace that over there, that black cable coming in from the one to the live. And then we've got this 4-core flex, by the way, the other grey cable here going to the heating on the instructions. I'll flash up a photo of that now on the right hand side. And then obviously the earth going to the earth terminal down here. So what I'm going to feed the cable in now into the boiler, and mount this back plate onto the wall, and show you where the cables line up to on the boiler. So I've fed the cable up through the first hole in there. I was just able to push it in, push the 4-core cable in from the underneath, fed it through, added it to the securing clamp here, just make sure that's not too tight, but again, just firm enough so that there isn't any movement in that. I've made sure that there's a little bit of play in the cable here before I fed it through this empty slot that did look like that. These just pop out like so, and this is just a soft rubber that you can pierce and then feed the cable through and then slot back in. And then that bit there is just a cable fix that you can put together just to keep the cable in place. Let's pop that back in for anything else that's ever needed. So that's fed through, and now we're going to wire this up to these 3 here on the right. So one live and neutral, and then the earth will go in the end here. So what do we have before? So if you match this up to here and see where we're going. So brown live will go into, sorry, I can't see that very well. So brown live here will go into live there on 96. Neutral here, the black one will go into neutral there on the far right on 96. And then one here on the grey one here will go into one. There we go, one on 96 over there, and then the earth down here will go into the earth on the left on the main side there. So to recap, so black into the 96 neutral from here, brown into the live on the 96, and then the grey into the 1 on the 96. I'm just going to sheath this wire back and feed that in now, and I'll join you once I've done that. So we've got the receiver on back plate onto the wall, 2 raw plugs and 2 screws, one at the bottom left, one at the bottom right, top right even. And we've got the 4 cables as shown, not changed. Neutral on the left, live the bridge, and the live going from 3, which is the heating on, and the earth. So if we follow that back, that's wired in through the cable that goes underneath, and then through, got that clamped in, fitted in the white cable, and then here you can see, it's a bit dark, but here you can see black neutral into neutral on 96, brown live into 96 live, brown, grey into 1, and then earth into earth with a main feed for the boiler. We've removed the timer switch, the old timer switch, which was in here and underneath here. I'm going to get a blanking plate from Viessmann for that, which we used to connect through on this port here down into X7, just in there. So we're going to get this back, the back plate, the casing back on, get the plate, face plate back up to the boiler, and get the main boiler plate back on, and we'll go down to the hub, make sure that's on, and then test it all out. So I've got the receiver faceplate back on, which is just pops on over the top and then underneath, and there's 2 screws, one either side here. And then I've got the boiler back assembled and ready to turn on. So I'm just going to power this up, and what we're expecting is an amber flashing light here, which means it's connected to the, will connect to the hub, which I've just installed in a separate video downstairs. And providing that flashes amber and it keeps flashing amber, we'll go and install the thermostat, and then it should switch to green. If it's flashing amber, I'm going to press this to confirm that it controls the central heating. I think this is the boost button, which means that if that goes, it should turn it green, and the central heating, the boiler will fire up. So let's see. And that looks, you can't really tell the colour, but it looks like green on the thing, but that's actually amber. Okay, this is firing up. I had a little panic there for a minute because I flicked the fuse switch bar on and nothing was happening, so I forgot to turn it on at the actual button. Okay. Just let that reset because it still thinks that it's running water. Okay, right, so let's press this and that should fire the boiler up. Okay, let's see here. Radiators have come on. So because this is a combi boiler, this is a single channel receiver, which it means it just controls the central heating and turning the taps on and requesting hot water will naturally spark the boiler up for hot water. If you've got a boiler with a tank, you'll need it, which is on a separate switch essentially to heat up the water tank. Then you need a dual channel receiver, and I've not covered that in this video. Okay, right, so let's go and install the thermostat. Just going to turn that off. Just don't want the heating on right now, and that should switch that off, I think. And voila,